aids, training aids, everything is made. So after proper selection, and then they stay in units, and as and when required, they carry out these actions.
Why is it that we don't have them posted in places like Bombay or in Bangalore, where we know are plums and targets for terrorists? Why should it take a country with the sophistication of India as long as it did to transport commandos from New Delhi to Bombay?
You're absolutely right. I think the mobilization of the forces was not to feel proud of. They took a very long time to mobilize, getting aircraft from somewhere, picking up commandos, bringing them to Bombay. Now, your first question, why don't they position them? The reason is, I think, the special forces are very small in number in most countries. To give you an idea, that in America, the total strength of special forces is around 40,000. For this entire nation, the total strength is about 40,000. And we have a small number. So what has been done earlier was that position it centrally and then take it wherever you want to take it. But from Bombay strike, we have learned a lesson. Actually, 2-3 lessons emerged. One was that our failure of intelligence, for your information, the security, external security is the federal job, nation's job. Otherwise, within the states, the job has been given to states.
So there's a clear demarcation of responsibility.
Yes. Any security within the state was the state job. So that was one drawback. Number two is our mobilization was very poor. And number three, the major lesson which came out was that we have our coastal areas, on the ground lines, we have secured our borders, but coastal areas, our borders are still porous. So all these have been taken care of. Right now, what they have done is they've raised an agency called NIA, National Investigative Agency. Now, this agency for intelligence gathering, for carrying out investigations, this has jurisdiction in the entire nation. They can go anywhere without taking any permission. Earlier, they had to take permission of the state, but that is no more there. This agency can operate anywhere within the country. That is and for intelligence gathering as well as for carrying out investigation. Right now, they have made 6 nodal points in the country where commandos have been positioned ab initio. That is Delhi, Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. These 6 places, the commandos have been positioned and they have been provided air effort. So the mobility becomes much faster. And also, as far as our coastline is concerned, the discussion is on, coordination is taking place between Navy, Coast Guard, and other coastal agencies. So this is being taken care of.
I also have concerns, and as our viewers did, and as our readers in this country had, of the simple failure on the part of those who were in charge of this operation, getting up on television and advertising that the special operation forces were leaving Delhi, giving the people, the terrorists, the information while they were watching on TV.
This was definitely a mistake. This has been taken care of. Okay. And I think the overreaction by media, this has been taken care of.
Now, I'd like to read a passage to you from a specialist who testified before the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs on January 28th of this year. And it underscores precisely what you say. It says, India has unfortunately become the sponge that protects us all. India's very proximity to Pakistan, which has developed into the epicenter of global terrorism, has resulted in New Delhi absorbing most of the blows unleashed by those terrorist groups that treat it as a common enemy along with the United States. India has also turned out to be a terribly soft state, neither able to prevent many of the terrorist acts, nor capable of retaliating effectively against either its terrorist adversaries or their state sponsors. Now, what do you think of that statement?
But you're right, Farooq. We have given an impression of a soft state. But right now, you see, in the wake of these terror attack in Bombay, we have a number of options. One option is that, like everyone is saying, launch a full-fledged attack on Pakistan or carry out surgical strikes. And we have special forces who are capable of it. We can carry out surgical strikes with Air Force. But, there are some implications of this option. Now, should we do that? I recommend we should not. Another option is that we go in for diplomatic channels. Now, diplomacy, we've gone to United Nations, we've gone to other nations, and pressure is being put on Pakistan right now to dismantle their terror infrastructure. And to an extent, they are doing. But again, as a military man, I doubt if they would. Another very good option is, which hasn't come out so far, right now, you know, Americans are fighting Taliban and Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Why? Because they don't want them to fight in New York and Washington. If Americans can fight them in those Afghanistan hills, why can't India do the same? Right now, yes. Right now, out of total 60,000, 30,000 troops are American, and they're planning to move another about 30,000 from Iraq. Well, my assessment is, for a country of the size of Afghanistan, you need about 250 to 300,000 troops. Where are you going to get that? What NATO countries and Americans right now need is that you have many forces. So I think it's a right opportunity for India to provide them good 2-3 brigades, battle-hardened brigades who are trained in insurgency, send them to Afghanistan. By doing that, we are fighting a battle away from our home. Number 2 is we have excellent training infrastructure. We should train Afghanistani people. So if Indians come, they take the training commitment, they're fighting along with the NATO forces. And in this case, even Pakistan should have no objection, because Pakistanis are fighting from their side, the same enemy. We are helping them to clear the enemy. So I think this is a very viable option for the entire world, for India, for NATO forces, and even for Pakistan.
Now, I know that post-Bombay terrorism, there has been a tremendous increase in cooperation between the United States and India. We have provided a lot of intelligence, we've provided a lot of law enforcement assistance to do the investigation and perhaps prepare the report. Do you see this type of close cooperation continuing?
It will have to continue. The reason is, firstly, last few years you've seen that these two nations have become strategic partners. Yes. And then we are sufferers. You see, we have been suffering. We have been suffering for very long, 40 odd years. We told world. And now Americans are suffering too. And I think if we can join hands, like we are doing it now, definitely we'll find a solution and we'll get around the enemy.
Well, let's hope that it happens. Let's hope that we can address this terrorism problem that's facing the world and address it successfully. And General, I wish you a lot of luck. Thank you so much for coming over here.
Thank you for having me.
And I know the viewers will be most grateful to hearing your testimony.
Thank you.